All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming to our annual town meeting. Can you hear me in the back? Good? 2. Can you hear me better now? Thank you. Well, I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank the select board. I want to thank the school board. We have a couple of special guests we'll get to. Our town clerk, Susan Carson, is here. She'll be recording the minutes. I'd ask that everybody please stand, and we're going to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the at this time, I'd like to invite Pastor Carl Scribner to make a couple opening remarks. Thank you, sir.
Good evening. Just a quick thing. I'm honored to be here once again. I thank, Chris for inviting me and the town council and the school board for letting me just open up with a word of thanks and prayer. But, I've been to 2 other town meetings lately, and I come to this one, I look at the books, but I also work in this community, and I don't think you guys realize how blessed you are. What a good community. I know there's differences. I know there's things that one person want to see and one other one, but overall, it's a nice community, and you're just blessed to be here. So as we progress in this meeting, just keep that in mind, that you're all one community trying to work and strive to make this place a little bit better. And if you remember that, hopefully you'll keep our tongues a little bit tamed and our thoughts to say, you know what, we can do this. And just talking to Chris the other day, the tax rate, I don't know how you can argue. So I just invite you, if you'd like to join with me in just a word of thanks and lift our heads to God. Loving and holy and merciful God, Father, we thank you for the peace that you can bring. And Lord, we invite you into this meeting. Even if we may have different opinions, give us the unity of spirit. Help us to listen politely and react with calmness. May we hear other people share their point of views. I ask you to help each of us in our own way work to bring unity. May we be a united team combining ideas for even a better outcome than what could be expected. Help this community work as a whole, rather than individuals who's trying to promote their own agendas. May they come together as a group of people wanting to see something better for their children and for the generations to come. So I ask you just to have your presence here, and may our tongues be calmed, tamed, and may our hearts be open to different ideas as we work together to make this a community to be proud of and to live free in. I pray all this in God's holy name. Amen.
Today's June 6th. Any of you history buffs know today's D-Day, and those soldiers landed on those foreign beaches fighting for democracy, and I think this is the purest form of democracy. I was told once, if you can read, thank a teacher. If it's in English, thank a vet. And so at this moment, I'd like to thank all the teachers here and all the vets for coming. I'd also like to take a minute to recognize another group of people in town, and those are the people that volunteer on the boards, committees, and help me get through all the business of this town. And so if there's anybody here that is serving on a committee or serving on a board or volunteering at the town, I'd like you to stand up, and I'd like the town to give you a round of applause. So I knew I'd embarrass them. So I'd like to call them out by name. No, I estimate they gave 1,700 hours of volunteer work, and the people that are doing that are engineers, business people, retired individuals, and it's well over 100,000 of service that's provided to this town at no charge. And I greatly appreciate that, what they do. I have one more speaker I'd like to invite up. Mr. Andre Cushion is our commissioner from Penobscot County, and he'd like to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you all for the opportunity to take a few minutes. I know some of you, I serve as the county commissioner for Penobscot County. I get a lot of questions from people saying, what does the county do? Well, the largest thing that we provide is the patrol service and the correctional facility. The jail is a regional booking so that all of your law enforcement in Penobscot County can bring anyone in that they arrest, and we process them there. It has helped communities throughout the county to save on manpower and time. This started under prior sheriffs. Sheriff Morton has continued it. The only problem we have right now is the jail is rated for 157 people, and we average between 160 and 180 in there every night, with about 70 boarded out. So we're looking down the road at a definite need to make a change, not only for the number of beds, but for the type of inmates that we have. It's not the days, if any of you remember Andy Griffith, where Otis comes in to sleep it off. Those folks end up in a different program. We have mostly people who have some severe challenges in their lives. It may be mental health, maybe substance abuse. Candidly, we don't believe they belong in jail, but the system right now only allows for us to deal with the current laws and how we can address them. But in the future, we hope to have more resources within the jail structure when we add on to it that will provide the medical beds that may be able to help people and provide the space for resources for those who need to get the proper help. I see one of our deputies here. We have a great relationship now with Orrington, where you have one of our community policing, where Sheriff Morton has worked with your town council to have a great relationship where the deputies are assigned here but are part of Penobscot County. We've worked with a number of communities like that. It's been a great relationship. Certainly, I think you all benefit from the caliber of people that you have serving you here in the town, but also with the relationship for training, administration, and support that we can provide. So we appreciate what all of our law enforcement do, and we appreciate what you as communities do to collaborate with us to keep our taxes low. In addition to that, we run the emergency call center that takes the 911 calls and dispatches to the different agencies. We are the busiest call center in the state of Maine in Penobscot County. We also have the registries of deeds and probate. We have the emergency management system, and then we work as a municipal government in the unorganized territory. So there's a thumbnail of what we do. What's happening right now, as many of you have read, the counties were provided an amount of funding in the ARPA, the American Rescue Plan funds. Penobscot received a little over $29 million. Some of that has been allocated for expenses related to the COVID pandemic. We've done a series of engagements around the county, listening sessions to hear what citizens of the county feel we should do with the money, and we're going to assess that. And we've started to provide grant applications that some of the communities and agencies in the area have already filled out. So stay tuned. I am honored to be a commissioner. I've served in the legislature. I've served at the council level. I got to say, this is one of the most rewarding parts of it, but there's other things I think we can do in the future. So thank you for your time. Thanks for the opportunity to be here, and we'll look forward to hearing more good things about Orrington.
Thank you. One bit of housekeeping before we get down to the business. You all have an annual report in front of you. Is this like the volunteers? Nobody has a report in front of them? I have one spelling mistake that nobody found, and whoever finds it, there's a free Yeti mug in it for them. I have two numbers that are wrong in here. And I would like to point out that the official warrant that was posted, only one of those numbers is wrong. And so if you could turn to page 63 and 64. So on page 63, line item totals for 1 through 11 equals 7,895,835. That is an accurate number. If you turn to page 64, Article 15, the number is 7,622,811. That is inaccurate. That number should be the number on the previous page, 7,895,835. The math works. It was draft number 1,422 that it slipped through. Also on page 63, article number 14, you will see in the verbiage they recommended, the school board recommends 885,200. That number is last year's number. That got overlooked even on review number 1,422. Those are the two figures that are inaccurate or incomplete in your annual report. The actual warrant article, one of the numbers is correct. The 885,000 is in the actual town warrant. So, any questions on those clarifications?
What was the right number on that one?
1,116,207,621. And then the funded by the model, the second number is 1,096,621. It doesn't affect the budget, doesn't affect what we've worked hard to present tonight. The assessor is here, and he is going through his numbers. And broadly speaking, he thinks the valuations are going to go up roughly 10%. I, in return, will drop the mill rate by 10%. And so hopefully your tax bills are within the range of normal as they were the last 2 years. That's our hope. We have two written ballots, a pink and a blue one. We will get those as we go through the night. And at this moment, I'd ask the select board, do they nominate anyone for moderator?
I'd like to nominate Dana Wardwell to serve as nominator.
Dana Wardwell has been nominated. Any nominations from the floor? Seeing none, I'd like 10 ballots to be passed out. Ten volunteers, 10 people, hands up. Get them in the back row. They're sitting in the back row for a reason. Is he still in the building? Pardon? Oh, he's way in the back. I got him. I was gonna have Susie pass out another tab. We got 2 write-ins? Did he win? All right, Mr. Wardwell, you've been nominated and elected. If you would like to get sworn in to be our moderator for this year's town meeting. All right. Then there's 2 of them. Comes out of mine.
How you doing? Good. Well, whatever. Is it all mine now?
Oh, you.
Okay.
You can ask me any question.
Okay. All right, if I could have your attention, please. Thanks for your confidence. Can everyone hear? Good. We'll be doing tonight's meeting following the Maine Municipal Moderators Manual. I'll be reading the article, asking for a motion, a second, then we'll have discussion and a vote. And as always, if we could direct the questions to me, and I'll direct them where they need to go and kind of avoid the one-on-one discussions. So, Article 2, to see if the town will authorize the select board on behalf of the town to appoint any and all necessary town officers required by law and not chosen at said meeting. May I have a motion? Second? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article passes. Article 3, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to procure a temporary loan or loans within the 2022-2023 taxable year in anticipation of taxes for the purpose of paying the obligations of the town. Such loans to be paid during the said taxable year. Motion? Second? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Article 4, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to sell tax-acquired property by advertised sealed bid to the highest bidder or negotiate in the best interest of the town, except that the select board have the power to retain said property for the town and to authorize redemption by the prior owner or heirs of the prior owner. In the event of a foreclosure, the municipal officers shall use the special sales process required under 36 MRSA Section 943-C for qualified homestead property if they choose to sell it to anyone other than the former owner or owners. Motion? Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 4 passes. Article 5, to see if the town will authorize the select board to sell or dispose of obsolete equipment and/or real property in a manner deemed by the select board to be in the best interest of the town. Motion? Second? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 5 passes. Article 6, to see if the town will fix a date or dates when taxes shall be due and payable, and to see if the town will fix a rate of interest to be charged on taxes unpaid after said dates. The select board recommends that taxes be due and payable in 2 equal installments, which shall be due and payable upon completion of tax commitment. The first installment shall become delinquent after September 15, 2023, and second installment shall become delinquent after March 15, 2023. Interest at a rate of 4% per annum will be charged on delinquent taxes. Abated taxes will have a fixed rate of interest at 2% per annum. Motion? Second? Discussion?
He read it 23.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh, fire me.
Too late, we're almost done.
I'm sorry, that is September 15th of 22, and then the second is due March 15th of 23.
No cut for you.
Thank you for catching that. So, that was moved, still moved, seconded. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 6 passes. Article 7, to see if the town will vote to authorize the treasurer to accept certain cemetery trust funds, the interest from to be used for perpetual care cemeteries grounds. Favor? Any opposed? Article 7 passes. Article 8, to see if the town will vote to increase the property tax limit established for Orrington by state law in the event that the municipal budget approved under the following articles will result in the municipal budgeted greater than the property tax levy limit. Did I read that right?
As written.
Okay. Motion? Second? Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 8 passes. Article 9, to see if the town will vote to ratify the actions of the select board regarding the following anticipated overdrafts in these departments. So we don't vote on that, or do we vote on that?
We don't have to. There was no departments, no articles were overdrawn.
So should I vote or? Okay. Article 10, to see what sum of money the town will vote to appropriate for administrative salaries and expenses. Select Board recommends $984,268. Second?
Second.
thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 10 passes. Article 11, to see what sum of money the town will vote to appropriate for compensation of town officials. Select Board.
Charge? Yep, or no, but. This is on. Hello? Excuse me. Mr. Wardwell, your mic is dead, so I'm bringing you a new one.
I don't do well with electronics. That may have something to do with it.
Among friends.
So moving on to line item 2, special education. The school committee recommends $988,232. Discussion? Ooh, that works. All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 2 passes. Line item 3, career and technical education. Shall the regional vocational budget as approved by the cooperative board for the period July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023 be approved in the amount of $3,588,937. That's Orrington's share of the operational budget is $0. School committee recommends $0. Motion? Second, thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 3 passes. Shall the regional vocational budget as approved by the cooperative board for the period July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023 I did. Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
Skipping here.
Okay. Line item 4, other instruction, including extracurricular instruction. School committee recommends $98,160. Motion? Second? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 4 passes. Line item 5, student and staff support. School committee recommends $347,412. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 5 passes. Line item 6, system administration. School committee recommends $198,562. Motion? Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 6 passes. Line item 7, school administration, school committee recommends $329,695. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 7 passes. Line item 8, transportation and buses, school committee recommends $583,708. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 8 passes. Line item 9, facilities maintenance, school committee recommends $573,402. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 9 passes. Line item 10, debt service and other commitments, school committee recommends 0. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 10 passes. Line item 11, all other expenditures, including school lunch. School committee recommends $20,000. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Line item 11 passes. And the total, line items 1 through 11, is $7,895,835. No motion on that? Okay. Article 13, to see what sum the town will appropriate from the foundation allocation for school purposes and to see what sum the town will raise as the local share of the foundation allocation. School committee recommends $2,744,150. Thanks. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 13 passes.
No, when he asks for a motion to amend it.
Okay, note the following item, Article 14 must be voted on by paper ballot due to the article exceeding the state's essential programs and services funding model. Article 14, to see what sum the town will raise and appropriate in additional local funds, recommend $885,200, which
I'm going to make a motion to amend it and correct it in a minute.
which exceeds the state's essential programs funding model by $865,200. School committee recommends for the following reasons. EPS allocation from the state for a secondary student is $8,054. The cost for Brewer High School is approximately $9,793. And the cost for John Baptist High School is approximately $12,480. Well, let's finish up and then we'll get to that, okay? Secondary school tuition paying system has to budget additional students. Secondary school tuition paying system has to budget additional students, limited EPS reimbursement for regular expenses equals EPS equals 10%. So may I have a motion on that?
I'd make a motion to amend that to the correct numbers that we have.
Just bring it on the floor as it is.
Yeah. So I'll have a motion and a second, and then in discussion, then you can do that, correct? So discussion.
I would make the amendment to the numbers that Chris read to begin with that were the correct ones. The first one would be $1,116,621.
What was that again?
$1,116,621. which exceeds the state's EPS funding by $1,096,621. The high school numbers you read were correct. They're wrong in the book that you have, but they were posted correctly.
Okay. So we have an amendment that would, the school committee would recommend $1,116,621, and that would then exceed the state's essential programs funding model by $1,096,621. May I have a motion on the amendment? Second, discussion? All in favor?
Oh, wait, that's the secret ballot vote.
Yes, it is. Well, is the amendment secret too, or do you have to?
Now you're discussing and debating on the amended motion.
So we approve the amended motion regularly, and then we have a vote on the, yes. So all in favor of the amendment? Any opposed? Okay, so now we'll do a paper ballot on the amended motion.
So you were handed a pink ballot and a blue ballot. We are going ladies first. We'll do the pink ones first.
I can't remember her name. Susan. I have an article.
And you don't want to be caught in that.
Sorry.
It's what it is. That's honest.
There you go. Thank you.
We already had it down. Oh, yeah. Oh. We haven't voted on the school. Town operation.
Many years ago, they hadn't changed the July 1 through 35th year. So they had a March town meeting.
Yeah.
So you had two votes. You had the vote to approve the school budget.
3 more months. Yeah.
It was off.
Eustis was like that. They belonged to RSG. They were Jeff passed it down. And then they pulled out the Jeff passed it down. They put in which they would have to put down there.
So they thought it was like, Kingfield.
That's Kingfield and all of that. That's on it.
I grew up in.
Yeah.
My wife's uncle. And then Amos went his way at Sugarloaf. He was one of the founders of Sugarloaf. That was back in the day. Poor guys, you go to chainsaws and all.
Did he go to Dark?
Huh?
Did he go to Dark?
Might have.
Did he go to Dark? Now, steer away from Dark.
Oh, yeah. The superintendent. He told me they took off. School, public school calls them.
They lost their town. Yeah.
Well, and I do. No, they're gonna be little, I do.
Okay, could I have your attention, please? Okay, the vote on Article 14 amended Article 14 is 74 yes and 7 no. So Article 14 amended passes. Okay, note, the following article is a summary article. The amount recommended should be the gross budget of the school system. The article does not provide money unless the other articles are approved. So Article 15, to see what sum the town will authorize the school committee to expend for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023, from the town's contribution to the total cost of funding public education from kindergarten to grade 12, as described in the Essential Programs and Services Funding Act, non-state funded school construction projects, additional local funds for school purposes under the Maine Revised Statutes, Title 20A, Section 15690, unexpended balances, tuition receipts, state subsidy, and other receipts for the support of schools. Summary lines 1 through 11. School committee recommends $7,895,835. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? Those all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Article 15 passes. Article 16, to see if the town will approve the total operating budget of $315,375 for adult education at the United Technology Center, UTC, and appropriate $2,483 as Orrington's share, with authorization to expend any additional incidental or miscellaneous receipts in the interest and for the well-being of the adult education program. School board recommends $2,483. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 16 passes. Article 17, to see what sum of money the town will vote to appropriate for public works and solid waste. Select board recommends $752,737. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 17 passes. Article 18, to see what sum of money the town will vote to appropriate for civic programs. Select board recommends $57,050. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 18 passes. To see what sum of money the town will vote to appropriate for public safety. Select board recommends $1,192. Thank you. Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? To see what sum of money the town, Article 20, to see what sum of money the town will vote to appropriate for the library. School board recommends, select board recommends $93,569. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 20 passes. Article 21, to see what sum of money the town will appropriate for capital projects. Select Board recommends $1,116,000. Thank you. Favor? Opposed? Article 21 passes. Article 22, to see what sum of money the town will appropriate for fuel contingency. Select Board recommends $15,000. Thank you. Discussion? Was that a question or a comment? Yes, sir.
I didn't want to adjust everybody's budget by double the fuel cost. And so I put in some increase in the fuel on everybody's budget. But then I added this line in because I don't think the fuel is sustainable. And so what I want is not to use this money and next year have this article go away and the budgets go back to normal. And what I didn't want to do is have a fuel line jump up by some wild guess what I thought it was going to be, and then have it go down. And so I was trying to get away from this, and I'd rather have fuel contingency with 15,000 up one year, not use it, and then go back to normal. Or if it's not normal, then I have to fold this money into their operating budget. It is, and it was the best thing. I thought it was better to bring it out and have just this contingency, and if we need it, we need it, and not affect the operating budget wildly.
Sir?
Where is, most of, what type of fuel is this, most of it? Is it in municipal offices, or fire department?
It's the fire department and the public works sharing their diesel and some fuel, some gasoline. But it's those trucks is where this,
So it's for the trucks, not for the building.
correct,
For the municipal building, it's, I understand it's all heat pumps.
a majority of it is heat pumps. The,
Pump price is pretty much locked in.
yes,
State price on electricity.
correct.
So this is all diesel, gas fuel for whatever run it out of the FD.
Public works in the fire department.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 22 passes. Article 23, to see if the town of Orrington will vote to accept and disperse funds as provided by the Maine State Legislature, such as state revenue sharing, roadblock grant, tree growth reimbursement, veterans exemption reimbursement, and snowmobile registration when made available. Select Board recommends approval. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 23 passes. Article 24, to see how the town will vote to fund the appropriations approved in these warrant articles. The Select Board recommends using revenues appropriated from non-property tax revenues, which includes an amount up to $500,000 from fund balance and the remainder to be raised by property taxes. Select Board recommends approval. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 24 passes. Article 25, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board or the town manager acting in concurrence with said select board to apply for and/or accept and expend on behalf of the town money from federal, state, and other governmental units or private sources which may be received from time to time in the form of grants or for any other purpose during the period July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. Select Board recommends approval. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? Article 25 passes. Article, oh. Okay.
Good job.
How about all in favor? Any opposed? That's why we make a good team. Article 25 passes. Article 26, to see if the town will vote to authorize the treasurer to accept prepayment of taxes not yet committed and to pay no interest thereon. Select Board recommends approval. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 26 passes. Article 27, shall the town of Orrington authorize the Orrington School Committee to expend such other sums as may be received from federal or state grants or programs or other sources during the fiscal year for school purposes, provided that such grants or other sources do not require the expenditure of other funds not previously appropriated. School Committee recommends approval. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 27 passes. Article 28, shall the town of Orrington return to Michael Kearns, the prior owner of 374 River Road, the amount of $74,000, which includes the initial purchase price, rehabilitation projects complete, and carrying cost of the associated debt. The town foreclosed on the property for non-payment of 2018 taxes on December 7th, 2020. The town has since listed the property with a local real estate agent and closed on the sale on January 31st, 2022. The Select Board considers this case to have certain mitigating factors and would not be precedent-setting for future lien processes contained in Title 36 MRSA Section 943. Motion? Second? Discussion? Yes, sir.
My understanding is the gentleman purchased this property with the idea of flipping it. And I have nothing against that. I expect a lot of people in this room that have bought and sold things within their life. Sometimes they make money and sometimes they didn't. I expect there are a lot of people in this room that have 401s, and compared to what they looked at 6 months ago, right now those 401ks don't look quite so good. The company that you had these funds invested with has made money off your money, even while your money has been devalued because of economic conditions we don't have control. Now you can liquidate, which I would recommend, or sit tight. But either way, you're not going to get that money back that those funds have depreciated. That's just a fact of life. This gentleman invested in these properties, I believe, to foot, as I stated before. He had the ample opportunity to do just what the town did. He could have sold his property, recovered whatever he could have recovered, and went on with his life. For whatever reason, he chose not to do that. I see no reason whatsoever the town should return this money, which they duly and legally obtained. by foreclosing on the property because the taxes have not been paid for 3 years or whatever it was. And as I stated, I see no reason to return this money to the village. He made this decision not to sell the property himself, so the town did. That's his decision.
Yep.
Our decision. He's got to live with it. That's the way it is.
Okay, any other discussion? Yes?
Can you discuss what the mitigating factors are?
I think the mitigating factors were the COVID pandemic and the turnover in the town manager position in those years leading up during that collection. I don't agree with the COVID, because the year that the taxes were assessed is not, that was a pre-COVID, you know, and so that doesn't, you know, he could have paid the first year's taxes before COVID even came. So that excuse I didn't like. The turnover at the town manager position, he spoke to a town manager, did not know which town manager it was. It was not me. We had a prior town manager, Joe Hayes, who was the interim, didn't know if it was him. And then we had a prior town manager, Joan Gibson, didn't know if it was her. So I
Can you
couldn't,
tell me if it was a man or a woman?
no. So,
So, any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Is this gentleman here?
I don't see him. He's not a resident. It wasn't a house he was living in. I don't believe anybody lived in it.
I can go through that. I was trying to think. Nobody has lived there for years and years and years. Person did come in and said that he bought it for a really low price. And I'm trying to get $250,000.
Any other discussion?
But did she just say that nobody has lived in this house for how long?
For a long time, and then we sold it, and the gentleman that we sold it to has finished his rehab, and now it's listed for
Right.
$250.
So as I understand it, normally the town will not evict people living in the house for past taxes. They will try to work with the people and keep the people in the home.
It has been
To do.
our utmost effort to try to get them and work some type of payment plan out and keep a resident in their house.
But this is not the situation.
This is not the situation.
No. Nobody's lived in the house since he bought it.
At least 10 years. And I'll tell you something else that was iconic is that they also stripped the house when they left. They took all the copper tubing, stripped the bathroom. So they took everything with them.
Any other discussion?
I have a comment.
Yes.
Go ahead, somebody up there.
Was there anybody else out here? Yes?
I'm going to speak as both the president and the tax collector. My name is Kelly Holbrook, deputy clerk tax collector for the town of Orrington, but I'm also paying tax here. Mr. Kern bought the property as a foreclosure from a bank in 2008. He didn't pay any taxes whatsoever on that property. He bought it with the intent to flip it and resell it. From my understanding of my conversation. I don't know why he didn't do anything further with the property. I don't know why he didn't pay his taxes. But until we actually wrote a letter about foreclosure, is when he actually called and spoke with whichever town manager he spoke to.
Okay,
Oh, Mr. Kearns is here now.
He just walked in.
okay, so I would ask, does Mr. Kearns wish to speak?
Sure, I guess.
Okay, so I would be asking permission from the town to let a non-resident speak. All in favor would allow him to speak. All opposed would not allow him to speak, so, correct? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we have 2 opposed. Mr. Kearns, you may come down and speak. Yeah. Just speak close to that, I think.
Thank you.
You can turn around. I think it'll pick you up.
Okay.
I have to stand.
Thank you.
You can grab it too.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
Take it.
Okay, great. I just wanted to say I've got somebody that was handling my finances, and I've got several rental properties, and we found out after the fact that she was embezzling money and said that she was paying stuff that she wasn't. So after the fact, I found out that there was a lot of things that were not paid, and we had to get that resolved. And I went back to the town and offered to pay not only the taxes, but pay 5 to 7 years in advance on taxes, just so they knew that they didn't have to worry about that. They didn't want to do that. They thought that the best thing for the town would be if we could sell the property, and that way they could get their taxes and they didn't have to worry about it in the future. I worked with the town, with the town manager, and talked to the select board on how we could get it listed and get it sold. And that way I could recoup my initial investment and the town could get their taxes and move forward. They didn't have a comfort level, and I was fine with that. I just wanted to get it done and make sure that we could move on. And when it came time to list it, they had a realtor they wanted to list it with, and I was fine with that. And they had a buyer, and the first deal fell through. I spoke with the town manager, and they relisted it after the first deal fell through. There was a septic concern, and they relisted it, found a buyer, sold it, and I came in and signed everything for the town to be able to transfer the property so they could move forward with the deal. And that way I wasn't holding the town up. I want to do everything we could to make everything work as smooth as possible. I didn't want the town to lose any money. I just wanted them to get everything they were owed and me get my initial investment back so we could move forward. And the property is now listed for $249,000, which is what I was going to rehab it and list it. The town didn't really want to work with me after the fact, which is fine. I'm totally fine with that. They were very good to work with. And we agreed the best thing we could do is get the property on the market and get it sold. And that way we were not holding up town's resources or, my money. If we could help it, we'd want to get it sold as quick as possible. So we all worked together to try to make that happen. Yes, sir.
Well, yeah.
Did you say you worked with an Orrington town manager and offered to pay all the taxes previously, plus 5 years ahead?
Yeah, and they couldn't, well, I talked to them about,
What town manager, what Orrington town manager? You.
That was after we had taken the ownership of the property. We had already,
You already had the.
we already had the foreclosure.
I talked to the interim town manager and said, when I told them what was happening, that I found out there was taxes that were not paid. And they said, we're not in the business of taking people's property. We campaign with just get it caught up, let's get it taken care of. So I was working on my other things that I found out she hadn't paid.
How
And
did you own property, not know taxes not paid?
well, I have multiple properties. When you have
Let's not get into this. Let's not get into this.
when you have somebody that shows you the paperwork saying they paid the stuff and they give you paperwork to verify it, and you assume they're telling you the truth, and then you find out later that they're not. There's a lot of things you don't always anticipate. So that's where we were.
Okay, well, thank you very
Sure.
much, Mr. Kearns. So do we have any other discussion?
Does the $74,000 just represent his initial investment?
The 74,000 is what we agreed on, that the town would not get hurt. We had all our taxes, interest, and cost paid. We had to replace a leach field that wasn't existent, to, not mince words. And there was a sales commission. And so that was roughly the $25,000 we sold it for right around 100,000. So the town will be made whole with this, you know, at 74,000.
Yes, sir.
Did we talk with the town attorney about this?
The town attorney had advised the select board that they didn't have the power to give this money back to them. It was not their decision. And that this decision had to be made at the town meeting.
I would just suggest that we use that money to give to somebody who's having a hardship and hasn't paid their taxes, put it in some kind of a trust or something, instead of, this transaction's already done, and we own that. And, you know, that's what I suggest.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir? What? Let this guy, Mr. Munyai, go, and then I'll be back to
No
you.
recommendation either way. I mean, this has been across the board, selectmen, and then 4 hearings in a week. Is there a recommendation?
I'll make a comment.
Yes, sir.
My name is Alan, by the way. At the select board meeting, Mr. Kearns, I was incredulous because we did do a little research and there were several years of back taxes that hadn't been touched. And Mr. Kearns also owned several other properties, not in one county, not in 2 counties, but in 3 counties. And a number of those, and I can't give you a figure, but there were a number of properties in 3 counties. And I said to him, Mr. Kearns, at the meeting, at the select board meeting, you know, I'm a little soft-hearted and I want to help you, but you haven't given us anything to go on here. You're making a habit of this and you've made a habit of it in 3 counties over a period of years. And it's like, I felt personally that I didn't have a leg to stand on. And someone commented earlier, what would we do if there were a family and they were behind and they were in a house? We would make every effort, but that was not the case here. So,
But in fairness, some of those properties I don't own anymore, they get sold and they show still in my name because I was the last record owner in that period here. I got a lot of them that we sold with, when I sold the stuff before, and then the stuff that I'm talking about, we found that she had multiple things, she, even the documentation she paid had not. And it was about $65,000 that she got.
Okay. Sir?
I would just ask Mr. Kearns why he didn't sell the property.
Do you wish to respond to that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Why did you not sell the property yourself?
I was gonna rehab the property and sell it, and then after meeting with the select board, talking to the town, when we went in there, they wanted to sell it, didn't want to have me, I offered to pay the taxes, and they said, we don't want to do that, we want to sell the property and, bring it to town meeting at that point, because at that point, I offered to pay 5 years worth of taxes in advance, bring the taxes on and pay the 5-year taxes ahead. They said they didn't want to do that. They wanted to sell the property. At that point, they have the same problem 5 years down the road.
Okay.
They offered to pay 7 years worth of taxes. They said, no, they didn't really want to do that. They wanted to
Okay.
sell it.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
I just don't feel that it's our problem, but his problem. I think that the money should go to the town of Orrington, not back to this man that didn't find it in his ability or whatever to pay for his taxes. We all pay for our taxes. We don't make excuses of somebody embezzling. We don't know if that's even the truth.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we just gotta make sure that we're doing the right thing for our town and not for someone that doesn't live in our town.
But
Okay.
instead of me going ahead and, I worked with the town to try to facilitate a sale, and I wanted to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
After the fact.
And when they said we couldn't do that, I talked with the town manager, I talked with the town, with the select board.
Yeah.
Looked at ways to
Article 29. Now, we vote on each section. I can speak louder. Just read Article 29. Yeah. Article 29, shall the voters of the town of Orrington, Maine designate a municipal tax increment financing district to be known as the Orrington Business Enterprise Parks Omnibus Municipal Development and Tax Increment Financing District and adopt a development program for such district, all of which shall be pursuant to the following findings, terms, and provisions. So we're just voting on this article. We're not reading all the sections. Motion, second. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 29 passes. Article 30, shall an ordinance entitled Orrington Land Use Ordinance be amended as presented for public hearing by the planning board on April 21st, 2022? If approved, this ordinance will supersede any prior amendments and/or votes and will replace the existing land use ordinance as amended July 27, 2020. A copy of the ordinance is available from the town clerk. Select board recommends approval. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 30 passes. Article 31, shall an ordinance entitled Orrington Solar Array Ordinance be enacted as presented for public hearing by the planning board on April 21st, 2022. A copy of the ordinance is available from the town clerk. Select board recommends approval. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 31 passes. Article 32, to see if the town will vote to appropriate the estimated amount of $389,963.62 from Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, AKA the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds, to be received by the town from the federal government for projects outlined in the U.S. Treasury final rule, updated on March 14, 2022. The town has committed $170,000 of these funds for expansion of broadband internet services throughout town. Select board recommends approval. Thank you. Discussion? Yes, sir.
Can we get some discussion on what, I see one item listed that is not the full amount. The broadband internet for $170,000. Can you describe what we're doing with the rest of it?
There hasn't been any final decision. There's a certain list of projects that we're allowed to do based on this final rule. One of the projects we're allowed to do is water projects and improve drainage. So there's a large road that we'd like to replace all the culverts in the drainage ditch. There's also a beaver dam that is, we'd like to take a look at that. So water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure are two things. We can vote to replace lost revenue, and we can issue payments for hazard pay or premium pay is some of the big things. There's other things. We haven't received our second payment yet, so we really haven't discussed what we'd like to do with it. There's a couple grant projects I thought we could probably do, but no final commitment has been made, with the exception of the internet, which is supposed to be starting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll authorize you to do those things that you see fit.
Excuse me?
So this vote will authorize you to do the things that, as you see fit.
As outlined in the Department of Treasury's final rule.
Among that menu of items.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the broadband, is it just expanding spectrum to other areas of Orrington, or is this allowing like other companies to come in?
The contract we have right now is Spectrum is expanding their wires, their infrastructure throughout all parts of town.
Yes, sir.
This would seem related to 5G,
No,
nothing to do with 5G.
5G would be subset. This is
yeah,
broadband internet.
yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Article 32 passes. Article 33, shall this municipality authorize the state to issue licenses for the sale of liquor to be consumed on the premise of licensed establishments on Sunday? This article needs to be done via secret ballot, so.
Here is your blue ballots. Motion and second.
Okay, so I need a motion, a second, and discussion? Yes, sir.
What premises are we talking about?
Rocky Knoll Golf Course.
That's it?
That's it.
Any other discussion? Okay, let the voting begin. So, on that internet. Because there's areas of
Yeah.
I have the money.
Yes, you know,
Right now, we're just praise God.
My son Bill was upgraded on. Yeah.
Well, I have to go here.
I mean, it's all said. Isn't this a technicality? This liquor thing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's already been done, but the state says, oh, you gotta do it again.
Yeah.
I might want to explain that. Well, no, I know.
All right, they're gathering their votes and these ladies have been doing, this is what, your fourth count today? We're almost to the end. This is our last article. I want to thank the fire department and Public Works for bringing our new toys out for everybody to see. And I'd like to drag your attention to a landing committee. We're trying to build a boat launch down on the river. About our progress, what we've done, the line far out in the hallway. So I invite you to stop. The girls, this is their fourth vote of the day, so I know they're going to knock it out of the park. I want to thank the fire department. I want to thank Public Works for bringing the toys that they brought out front. And they're proud of that equipment, but they're proud to be working here in this town. So I want to thank them. I also want to thank the landing committee has a presentation. We're trying to build a boat launch down on the Penobscot River, and they've worked for a year and a half hard and have gotten a grant right now, and they're in the conceptual phase. So if you want to stop by and talk to them, they'd be happy to talk to you. If you'd like to come to their meetings, you're welcome to come.
Chris, don't forget the ambulance subscription.
So then the ambulance subscription, everybody that voted today, we started an ambulance subscription service where you could pay $25 for an individual, 40 for a family. Do I see 75 for a company? And it covers you for a year. And if you have to get a ride in that bus, it'll be free as far as your deductible goes on your insurance. If you don't have insurance, it will cover 5 times your subscription costs. Up to $500. $500. So they were down at the town office today, passing out brochures and answering questions. If you have any questions, the guys in red will, well, he's dressed in black. He's out back, so. You need more time, Susan?
Okay. Okay. Okay, if I could have your attention, please. So Article 33 passes with 71 yes and 10 no. So now that finishes the book. So I'll now report the results of the election. Christopher Robertson is elected with 65 votes. There were 6 blank votes. Richard Drab, 1 vote. Ronald Elkin, 2 votes. And Ron Hamlin, 1 vote. That's for selectmen, a term of 3 years. For the school board, a term of 3 years, we have Heather Harriman with 57 votes. She's elected. Nicole Fletcher with 60 votes. She's elected. Ronald Elkin with 6 votes. Richard Drab with 1. Bill Collins with 1. And Arthur Fletcher with 1 vote. So, I want to thank everyone for your cooperation this evening. And with that, I would take a motion to close the meeting. Second, so done. So,
Not that bad.
no, it isn't.